We have got a really useful and good video today, but I want to start off by giving you some juicy gossip. And that is that I've actually had my hands on the xTool O1 Omni UV printer for about 4 weeks now. And this video is going to be giving you all of the information that xTool have been releasing in the month of June, as well as my own personal experiences using it to help give you a nice clear idea of what is coming, what you can expect, and also what has been announced. So I want to start off this video by saying, if you're thinking of getting it or you're curious, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I've got a lot of useful videos planned that I can start releasing in the coming weeks. And those videos are going to have tutorials, they're going to have material tests, they're going to have everything that I've learned from using it and will continue to learn, and hopefully they will give you some idea of what the machine can handle. As I said, I do have the dual head version, so I've got a feeling that might be the most popular version. We'll go through the different options later in the video, but if you're interested, if you want to know more, hit the subscribe button and we can do it. But for now, let's roll on to what this main video is about, and that is taking the information xTool has officially announced in the month of June. There have been 4 announcements out of the 5 so far. The 5th one I think might even be coming today. I don't know what that is yet, even though I do have the UV printer. But what we're going to do is we're going to take that information, we are going to translate it into something that hopefully you can work out in your head. And then you can hopefully decide if, for one, you want to put a deposit down, and 2, what deposit on what machine you're thinking of going with. So let's move on to the first big announcement, and I think this is probably the biggest announcement of the 4. xTool have officially announced 3 different types of machines, which was massive because I think most people were expecting 1, maybe 2, but there are 3 of them. So let's start with the first one, and that is single UV. So what is the single UV? That's going to allow you to do UV direct printing, UV DTF support, but it is going to be predominantly for hard materials only. There are limited inks on that one. So it will have the same vision system, the same accuracy, the same print area, and also embossed capabilities. If you have to think about materials, it will be ideal for acrylic, wood, slate, glass, metal, phone cases, signs, and gifts. It's basically your entry-level UV printer. If you don't want to commit a large amount of money to it, you're not sure if it's for you yet, or you just have a limited budget, this is that entry-level UV printer that allows you to get involved and get started. So the second machine, and this is the machine I have and I have been testing, is the dual head machine. Like I said, I have a feeling this might be the most popular, and I'll tell you why. So it has everything that the single UV printer head version I've just talked about has. However, it does have faster quoted print speeds. It does have fluorescent ink capability. It has flexible white ink. It also has rigid white ink. And I think this is probably the area that's going to make it popular for people. It allows you to, in theory, do faster printing. And I will say, I haven't obviously used a single head version, so I don't know what the comparison is in real time. But I do know it has been printing fast for me. And what is great is you can actually print on flexible materials. I've printed onto leather. I've printed onto patches, stuff that does have a bit of flex, even 3D printed material that you can flex with that flexible ink. And what it means is you have that rigidity if you need it, but you also have the flexibility, and you can take that and put it on some unique products. I have really also enjoyed the fact that those speeds are fast. I've been printing some pretty large things, can't go into too much detail once again, but some large things on wooden boards, on acrylic. And those things have been pretty fast, I have to say. I mean, I've never owned the rival UV printers out there, so I can't compare in that sense, but I have seen a lot of content, and I do think it's quite a lot faster than those ones are, but we can test that out in the future. So the other thing is the fluorescent ink. So if you want to make really cool glow-in-the-dark fluorescent stickers, all of that thing, then this is the machine that will be for it, because you can actually do that, and there are some other elements. It has a lot of different ink cartridges, but that opens up a lot of different capability. And the good thing is you can merge those capabilities and really optimize the different kind of combination of prints you can make. Let's move on to that third machine now, and that machine is UV plus DT. xTool have announced a machine that is going to allow you to UV print directly onto garments, which is massive. And that is really brilliant, because what it does is it gives you as a small business owner, as a creator, as a maker, or a hobbyist, options to choose which machine is best suited to your needs. So with that machine, you can do a lot of the stuff we mentioned above, but you've got direct to garment for cotton, direct to fabric for polyester blends, polyester, nylon. It's great for t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, apparel. And then you also have that single UV print head as well to still do it on those rigid materials, those woods, those acrylics, those metals. You'll still be able to do it. So it's a bit of a best of both worlds, but at the same time, you won't have the speed of the dual head because you're obviously having one or the other to choose from. But the key message here is there is one machine platform. There are multiple workflows. One design can become a whole product collection. And what I mean by that is you could take your logo, you could put it on a t-shirt, on that same machine, you could put it on a coaster, you could put it on business cards, you could then go and put it on a tote bag. You could make a whole product suite for your brand or someone else's brand with one machine. And I think that's where it's going to be really, really useful here, because ultimately this is opening up that capability and allowing you to really, really utilize every aspect of the machine. I've got a dry mouth after saying that because there is a lot to dissect there and a lot to talk about. So go on to xTool's website. They have a really detailed breakdown of the difference between the three machines. But from my experience using that dual head so far, it's been absolutely brilliant and really, really fast. So we're going to move on to the next thing now, and that is smart cycle and maintenance. So maintenance is a really, really important thing to everyone. One thing we're always a bit worried about and wary about is I could spend all of this money on this printer and then it could dry up and stop working if I don't use it 24/7. Well, in the real world, a lot of us don't have the ability to use it 24/7 because we might have main jobs or we might have other things that we're doing, might have children like I do. You know, life takes over sometimes. So you want a bit of confidence that that machine isn't going to just conk out on you and stop working if you stop using it for a little bit. From what xTool have announced so far and from what I've personally experienced, because once again, I have been using it. I think I've said it a few times now. You can tell I'm happy about that. But what they have announced is that there are some built-in features that will basically allow you to keep things really, really simple. So the first thing they have mentioned is auto stirring, and you're probably wondering, what is that? Well, that is a stirrer built within the machine that is automated, and it will stir up, as the name suggests, the inks, the materials within it, especially the white, so that it's not drying out and it's always optimized, ready to print. That means you don't have to waste time priming anything. You don't have to waste time actually waiting for the machine to get it ready. In theory, it's good to go out the box, and from my experience, it has been. The next massive thing that they have recently announced is the auto circulation. And this is the one I really, really love, because what it means is with traditional UV printers, what they often do to make sure those lines, those pipelines don't get clogged up is they have to push ink through it. And the way they traditionally do that is by discarding, using an amount of ink and discarding it in a waste product container. And what that does is ultimately it keeps that printer going well, but it does use ink. Well, xTool have done something quite revolutionary, and that is they've designed something that circulates the ink through the machine, which achieves two things. One, the ink isn't wasted, and two, those lines are not clogged up. And to me, that is massive. That's probably one of the biggest things I was happy about to see with this. Once again, my own experiences of using it, I haven't had any dried ink or any clog since I've been using it in the last month. It is obviously doing, and I wasn't even aware of it until recently when they announced it. So it just shows it's working behind the scenes without even throwing it in your face and telling you about it. So there is another element of it, and it is a ceramic heating module. I am looking at the screen to make sure I get the wording right. But what ceramic heating does is it gives you a really controlled heating module within the actual system itself so that you can heat up those inks, because temperature of laying inks and temperature of actually printing on things is really critical. And if you can't control it really accurately, it can cause clogs, it can cause inaccurate colors, and it can just in general create a bit of a problem for you as the user. So having that ceramic heating module allows you to really have a nice controlled print. And most importantly, it's about consistency, and it allows that consistency to stay there and give you repeatable things. And that is really, really good. And that is something I've also, once again, experienced myself. According to what it's saying here on the website, and I will give links in the description to all of this if you're curious to learn the actual details more than what I'm saying here. But UV ink needs 30 degrees Celsius for it to consistently work and be optimized. DT ink is 25 degrees Celsius. This allows it to achieve that accurately and in a repeatable method. Now, the other thing that xTool mentioned regarding maintenance is a 2-week vacation mode. And you're probably wondering, what exactly is that? Well, this is every UV printer owner's kind of biggest worry. And that is, if I don't use it for a long time, what happens? Is it going to dry out and be unusable? And this is where xTool have actually implemented something that is going to put the user at ease. So they mentioned 2 weeks, so you could leave it for 2 weeks without printing. And what it does is, instead of leaving ink in the print head, it injects a moisturizing fluid, a moisturizing liquid line, as it calls it, into that structure. And what it does is it keeps everything primed, everything moist. It stops anything drying out, and it allows it to be optimized and ready to hit the ground running once you are back and you are able to use it again, which is brilliant. So the next thing that it's talking about is humidity sensors, and that is good. If you're in a humid environment or whatever kind of environment you're in, it can assess what the air's like, and it will adjust its own maintenance and cleaning schedule that it does to compensate for that, to try and keep it optimized. Once again, it's a really, really good thing to add in there. And it's not even something that you'd even think you need. But if you think about it, everyone lives in different places. I'm in the UK, we get a lot of rain. You might be in a warmer place with high humidity. You might be in a dry place. So it's not necessarily going to be exactly the same for everyone. And the fact that it can adapt to that, then change its frequency of doing stuff, is a really, really good feature for it to have. So there is also multiple cleaning modes within it, and I am going to run through them here. So you've got standard clean, which that is a routine nozzle maintenance, and it says ideally you would use it before a print session or after a short idle period. Then you have deep clean, and that is a stronger nozzle purge. For that, it says after extended idle time or when a clog is suspected. That's when you would use that one. There is also a sleep mode, and that basically prepares the print head before it goes into idle protection. And if you're going into vacation mode, you would do that. It would prime it before you do that. And then there is obviously a wake up mode, which is the opposite of sleep mode, and that flushes protection fluid and restores ink flow. So they are the 4 cleaning modes. I love how it's simple, it's not overcomplicated, does what it says on the tin, and that is really good for beginners that are going to try and hit the ground running when they get this machine. So now we're going to move on to the next announcement, and that is something called Pixel Scan. Let me explain the problem first. Traditionally, when you're printing stuff, you have to position it in the right place, measure it, make sure you're in the right area, and that obviously can induce errors into things. xTool have announced something called Pixel Scan, and once again, I've been using the printer and I've experienced this myself. Ultimately, you can take all the time in the world to print something amazing, but if it doesn't go in the right place on the right object, what is the point? So traditional methods, as I said, measuring, guessing, test prints. Pixel Scan scans the actual layout more like a scanner than a camera. And according to this website here, it's up to 0.2 millimeters plus or minus positioning accuracy. So it uses a line laser to measure the object height, which helps, first of all, avoid print head collision, because if you think about it, your print head is moving side to side. It needs to make sure it clearances whatever item you're doing it on so it doesn't clash. So this is great for things like phone cases, key rings, coasters, small items, because what it can do is it can sense any little unevennesses on that top surface and make sure it's cleared from the top. But it also can still make sure it puts that print down on those lower surfaces. I'm not sure what the exact amount is, but there is a tolerance that you can kind of take up that difference in height. So this is one of those things where I've been using the camera system for ages and I've been placing items, and it is incredibly accurate. And what I like as well is, and obviously I can't go into too much detail just yet, but when I place an item onto it, it is actually printing it exactly where it appears on the image. It's not kind of, with the lasers you see behind me, the cameras are good, but as you can imagine, there is always that slight distortion from the type of lens that you're dealing with. With this, it is literally what you see is what you get, and that is brilliant, because obviously you can't frame a design with a UV printer. So you have to trust what you're printing on. And that's where this Pixel Scan technology, is sending scans horizontal and vertically, and that is building up an idea for that printer of where it lies and allowing you to place things in an optimized fashion. So one of the things I love about it as well is I have been kind of practicing on multiple objects at the same time. So for example, I did 5 business cards, and that camera took the picture. I placed all of my designs across them purely using that camera system, and it put every single one of them in the exact right position. That is something that is critical, because ultimately what it allows you to do is build up that trust and almost a relationship with the printer. So let's move on to the next announcement, and that is accessories. So xTool have announced a few extra accessories, and I'll run through what they are briefly. So you've got a rotary accessory, which is obviously great for drinkware, bottles, mugs, tumblers, all those kind of things. Then there is a laminator, and this is what's got me excited because I really love making things like stickers and decals and all that kind of stuff. So you can create things like crystal stickers, premium labels, and decorative finishes on really nice items using that laminator. And that ties in with the next thing, which is the roll feeder. So you can take rolls of material, print it through it, it'll go through the laminator, and you can literally make nice long rolls or nice long strips of stickers, of decals, and you could do so many exciting things with it. There is also the apparel tray with the third flavor of the printer, and that allows you to tie your apparel down and print directly on it, as we mentioned earlier. So that's why I get excited, because ultimately having those accessories opens up different channels of products you can make and sell, products you can gift to people, or just, you know, if you're a maker like me, having fun and making different things. You can make things that are long, wide, short, whatever you want. You can take most types of cups and you can pretty much get 90% of coverage on that, which is incredible. I don't think I've seen that possible with other ones out there, but overall for me, I think it's great. I mean, if you want some idea of what I've been UV printing onto, wooden coasters, metal plates, metal business cards, wooden sheets, acrylic sheets, leather bags, tote bags. I've been doing so many, and having accessories like this will open it up even more, which is amazing in my opinion. So let's transition into something else that's important, and that is xTool is announcing this machine. You can make deposits soon, which is going to be a really good thing. I think people have been waiting for a long time, and people are really eager now to get their hands on this, and I really do believe it's here soon. I mean, I've been testing one of them, so they do exist. People are printing with them. So what I will say is, if you are interested in making that deposit soon, first thing I will say, if you're looking to buy one, then you can actually buy through my affiliate link, which is in the description. That will support this channel and allow me to make all of those tutorials, all of those projects, all of those material tests that will help you when you hit the ground running. But more importantly, if you just want to learn, you're in the right place, because I'm going to be giving everything I can to you guys to help you hit that ground running. You can see I've been so excited talking about it because for too long I've had to keep it a secret. I hope this video has been helpful to you. There is one more thing I want to mention, and that is on the 30th, xTool have a live event in Berlin, and I will be going to it. You can stream it online, and it's going to be showing so many unique, interesting things about the UV printer. So if you want to learn more, if you want to see some of your favorite creators there doing stuff, then that is the perfect opportunity. Check out the website. All things I've talked about will be in the description below. Like I said, as well as my affiliate links. Please like and subscribe to the video, and any questions you have, put them down below. I will answer them if I can. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Take it easy.